it was brought to my attention that we have an income identity. And the income identity, when I was listening to this person talk about it, basically means that if you feel like you'll never work for $20,000 a year, that's beneath you. Well, that's part of your income identity. If you will only work for $60,000 a year, that's part of your income identity. You're willing to take jobs, from 55,000 to 65 or something like that, right? You have a range, right? You have an identity, and that identity pretty much sets the range of your earnings, which also predicts your lifestyle. So if we find ourselves thinking that one day we want to be rich, one day we want to be millionaires, we want to be very successful and have more than one car, more than two cars, and have a certain size house that may be multiple bedrooms, multiple full baths. We need to understand what kind of identity that is. And I think many times a lot of us are guilty of stating what it is we one day want and what it is we're one day going to be and where it is we're going, but we really don't understand the income identity of that future you're describing. So one thing that I've done is I actually wrote down, I made notes about what it would cost to have a certain type of car that I dream about. If it's a luxury car or an exotic car, I wrote down what the possible cost of that would be. The down payment, the monthly payment, the insurance costs that are associated with that car. And I actually multiplied that by 3 because in my futuristic vision, I see me having at least 3 luxury cars. The other thing I did was actually find a home online on one of the real estate sites that would look like my future home, right? And I wanted to get real cost of what that would be. So what is the down payment? What is the monthly payment? And what are the fees associated with the upkeep of that home, right? So you see where I'm going with this. I'm trying to take everything that I do today and get an identity for what it will look like with this future me that I sometimes talk about. So if you have no clue of what that would look like, you just keep saying, I'm going to be rich, I'm going to be a multimillionaire, but you have no clue of what that entails cost-wise, lifestyle-wise, maintenance-wise, then how can you set realistic goals to get there? How can we set realistic goals to get there? How do we know when we're a quarter of the way there and we've made some pretty decent progress in the last year? How do we know when we're halfway there and we've made some pretty decent progress? How do we know when we're there? You have to measure that, and you have to understand what that amount looks like. For example, if you're making, let's say, $4,000 a month right now, cool. What does the future you need to make per month? Is it $15,000 a month? Is it $30,000 a month? Is it $60,000 a month? Is it more than $60,000 a month? You have to find a way to at least have an idea of what it looks like, so you can take your vacation, so you can fly all these places you want to fly to, so you can give to charity, so you can help people. you have to have an idea of what that will entail. And that's why you hear people say, you know, you don't have what you're saying you want because you may not be able to handle it yet. If we have no idea of what it takes to handle this lifestyle that we want, how can we even begin? So the same way we went to school to learn how to do this, or we didn't go to school but we studied this, or we learned how everything in a car engine works. The same way we study that to be educated about it, we have to study everything about what we're trying to do, where we're headed, right? Because it's clear when we are preparing ourselves for the life that we have now, we had a decent idea. I can make more than $50,000, or I can make more than $40,000, or I could possibly make six figures. We kind of have a clue of what that takes, and we go about doing it. But we need to do the exact same thing for being multimillionaires. We have to have an idea of what it takes. So when we're out of work, right? If we have a lack in work, a multimillionaire may not go to the unemployment office for a $200-something check, for example. A multimillionaire thinks about making another large deal so they can keep up that lifestyle. You have to understand what it takes to get to that type of income and start to practice that, start to head there once you understand what you're looking to do. So understand what your income identity is. You got to take these ceilings and barriers off. We all need to do that. We grew up with our parents maybe saying, this is a good income. You go to school, somebody says $60,000 is excellent. Become this, that's awesome. You could make almost $70,000. Why is it that bubble, that six-figure bubble? Wealthy people talk about people they will be hiring. Wealthy people talk about businesses they're going to acquire. They don't talk about applications they're going to fill out for jobs. So we have to start to think differently, and I challenge you to understand your future self's income identity.